Coming back to the question for today's Vakyartha Sadhas. As human beings, we all go through ups and downs, including our relationship with the Master. What are some ways which you have used to bring yourself back to the space of Guru Bhakti? So the question, I think itself is very self-explanatory. As we all know, we are all human beings, and be it with Swamiji, be it with someone in our life, we all have our ups and downs. Some days we won't be in a good mood. Some days we feel like cursing everything and cursing the master and cursing life, cursing everything itself. So at these times when we are low and our Guru Bhakti isn't strong, what are some ways which we have used, which we all have used to come out of that and bring ourselves back into the space of Guru Bhakti? So one of the things which I have done is when I'm not able to when I have incompletions with the Swamiji who we're all seeing and who we all call as Swamiji, who's coming every day morning for the live satsang. And then I go talk to Swamiji in the form of books. So I go and talk to book Swamiji. And then for some reason, if book Swamiji doesn't click with me, then I go to YouTube Swamiji. So actually, this is the most beautiful thing about Swamiji is where he doesn't exist just in the Nitya Satsang, just with NTV, but he exists in the form of books, YouTube videos, and in the form of other Sangha members as well. So uh, primarily, I always try to first thing I would always used to do is hit book Swamiji, and book Swamiji always used to give practical solutions to really if like really if there's a practical problem in life, then book Swamiji would give practical solutions. But many times for me, it is not just about an incompletion as such. Like I'm upset with what Swamiji has done. It's more of like how to say. It's more like missing his presence in a way. So for that, I'll go to YouTube Swamiji, and just watching YouTube Swamiji again and again and again. It really gives a lot of healing. So usually primarily through books and through YouTube, some of the ways which I used to bring myself back into the space of Guru Bhakti. And whatever one major thing I had realized is after coming back to the space of Guru Bhakti, when I introspect and look back and see how did this incompletion start? I'm just trying to sit and analyze from where did this incompletion start. Honestly, I'm not able to come to a logical path and logical sense of thinking which initially started the incompletion. It was through some mood swing and then some thought had come, and in occurrence of many thoughts it just occurred that incompletion had occurred, but there wasn't any logical reasoning for the incompletion as such. Only after I came back to the space of Guru Bhakti, after falling down, when I came back to that space, only then I understood that it was completely illogical. There was no logic behind why I had gone into incompletion. So one of the major things which I had realized in course of time is that even the mood swings which we have with the master are not generally or not at all because of the master himself. It is because of our delusion and some ignorant thought which we had unconsciously. When these things start overlapping and happening on top of each other, naturally that brings in the doubt and the feeling low, and it's more like a why devotion, why puja, why are we doing all this again now? So coming to that space, the best thing for me, especially which has helped when I'm really trying to actually look for a solution, I usually go to the Swamiji's Bhagavad Gita book, the Living Enlightenment book. But more when it's like I'm just missing Swamiji as a whole and missing, especially when we bring up some things like someone brings up about the courtyard sessions back in 2016 and 17. So it's just more like missing his presence. So I usually go to YouTube and binge some of Swamiji's videos then. So more or less, but overall, whatever way you use to bring yourself back to the space of Guru Bhakti, for me at least, this how you fall in the first place is only because of, I think primarily is your unconsciousness, and allowing your unconsciousness and unawareness and your thoughts to wander around and giving them enough power to put you in a space against the Guru. So that is primarily what I feel is a big obstacle in how you, in your growth towards the master, and your growth in spirituality, and primarily which affects your relationship with your Guru. As human beings, we all go through ups and downs, including our relationship with the master. What are some ways which we have used to bring yourself back into the space of Guru Bhakti? Nithyananda, you can go ahead and you can share your take on this. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. For me, I've always seeked powerful insights from Swamiji. So insights is always like a powerful cognition or a very powerful understanding, which brings me back to reality, activism, and desire to get involved and do something. And one of the main thing, one main click Swamiji gave me, is that initially, because of various things, and especially the conditioning and how you're raised, and how you relate to like success and failures, initially, or at certain points in time, the feeling of like, oh, I'm not integrated enough, oh, I'm not authentic enough, oh, I'm not responsible enough, oh, I'm not enriching, like using the powerful cosmic principles, powerful cognitions that Swamiji is giving us, to beat yourself up, kind of a space. So Swamiji said in one satsang that everything, all the powerful cognitions I share, they should never be used to beat yourself up. They should be used to raise yourself. So that's not the purpose of a powerful cognition, is not to bring yourself down, but it's to raise yourself higher. So one of the main thing which helps me to come back to that space of Guru Bhakti is one of the clicks, is that when you are not integrated, or you feel you're not integrated, or not authentic, or not responsible, or not enriching, and you start to cherish like guilt or some kind of emotions of that sort and space of that kind, one of the most powerful thing which restores the space of Guru Bhakti for me is cherishing guilt is definitely not being integrated. So if I'm actually interested in being integrated, feeling guilty is not at all going to get me there. So whatever reason I use to justify the fact that I should feel bad, or I should feel low about myself, or lesser about myself, that reason may be there, whatever it is, but then deciding to feel guilty or some sort of feeling lesser about myself because of that, that's even worse. So definitely not cherishing that is right away, it stops the vicious circle, the downfall, which starts to happen once incompletion starts. So that is one of the main powerful clicks, which really helps me to break that vicious cycle, spiral, if once it starts, because of whatever reason, whatever incompletion, whatever fear or greed or confusion is there. But it's just like, no, feeling like that, like beating yourself up, that's not integrity. Like sometimes you feel like, oh yes, see, you should do this, you're supposed to experience this, or you deserved it because you were not integrated. It kind of, Ashtosha was, when he grew up, he kind of felt like it's like it's almost righteous to feel like that or to think like that. But what Ashtosha realized, what I realized by being with Swamiji, is that that's a totally wrong cognition, and there's nothing righteous about that. So that cycle has to be broken. And every time you cherish that, every time I cherish that, then surely I'm not being integrated. And naturally, because I want to restore my integrity, I stop cherishing that space. And right away, like that space of like possibility starts to open again. and the possibility for completion opens up, and then after that, the Guru Bhakti gets restored and starts to raise in integrity and love with Swamiji. So yeah, that's mainly for me. This is one of the powerful clicks which really helps to break this vicious circle of incompletion, so that the Guru Bhakti can be reestablished, and the raising the inner space, bringing the inner space back into a life positive space happens from that. So yes.
Thank you so much, Nithyananda. One thing which I had been thinking as you were sharing was, many of the times, for some of the incompletion we have in our life, we use that as a reason and we blame the master for it. So I've seen this in my own life and in other people's life as well. For a problem which we are going through, and the reasons for that problem will be something completely different. It may be external factors, it may be our own inner laziness and boredom and tiredness. So the fault might not be even with the master, even if you see it as a very mundane plane, but it is because of our unconsciousness. I primarily see this only as our unconsciousness, because when we're conscious, we all love Swamiji, and that is the we have a, we at least envision how our relationship with the master should be. So allowing a experience to take place where you are on a opposite camp of the master, and when you and Swamiji don't see eye to eye, I would strongly feel that that is only because of the unconsciousness we allow to take part and control of our life, which even escalates a situation up to that level. So even Swamiji himself has told on more than one occasion, incompletions which you think you have with me are nothing but incompletions which you actually have with yourself. And only because as Swamiji, as Paramashiva, living in radiating that space of I am Paramashiva, how can Paramashiva have incompletions with himself? Because that is the space Swamiji is living from. When we all come to that understanding that we are all also Paramashiva, and we all also can't hold incompletions, be it with ourselves or be it with anyone else, then naturally we'll also dissolve into that space. But until then, as we watched earlier a video clip where Swamiji mentioned that whatever the problem may be in your life, only when the internalization, when the manana happens, only then you'll be able to find a solution. Thank you so much, Sri Nithyananda, for your sharing. Next, let's all give our listening to Sri Nithyananda. Please go ahead and share what do you think, your take on this. How do we, what are some ways which we have used to bring ourselves back into the space of Guru Bhakti with the Master?
Nithyananda, thank you, Maharaj. Nithyananda, everyone. Yeah, the one thing I would share is basically just the completion process. Like basically Swamiji's giving an opportunity, like people speak about that Amazon company, that online Amazon company, and how much people access them and how many people they reach out to. So they're impacting like billions of lives or whatever. Or like there's 2 billion Facebook people, there's 4 billion people online. These are billions of people. But a lot of the social media algorithms and the consumeristic sort of at your fingertips culture tends to not actually enrich people's lives, but it tends to sort of encourage addictions and strengthen human unconscious patterns, which is basically opposite of what humans need. So Swamiji gives an opportunity to reach out to billions of people, but to actually help them. Instead of just fulfilling addictions, actually help people. So that's pretty unique, actually. So Swamiji gives this opportunity to reach out to billions of people, but sometimes you feel like, whoa, how am I going to reach out to billions of people? So there tends to be a sort of false idolization of a lot of like movie stars, TV stars, CEOs and stuff, superstars, thinking like, oh, because of hard work, they got their hard work, just hard work, only hard work. but there's actually a lot of reasons behind the scenes why people get jobs besides just hard work. So it's not that one person, starring in a 90-minute video getting 10 or 20 million dollars for that. It's not that they worked 10 or 20 million times harder than you do. So there's just a lot of misconception sort of forced upon humans. So yeah, so Swamiji gives opportunity to actually help, to reach out, to impact billions of people, yes, but to help them. Instead of violence, sex, drugs, depression, shown on television, movies, and media, actually you can help people. So it's a big opportunity, actually. It's a good opportunity. It's something that everyone needs. And you don't see it very much. It's quite rare, but it's needed by everyone. So Swamiji gives this beautiful opportunity, and sometimes we have doubts about it. Because, right, not everyone visualizes themselves as being a CEO, like whoever this John Walton guy of Walmart is, or of General Electric. They will be a CEO, potentially reaching out and impacting billions of people's lives. So not each one of us feels like, yes, today I will impact billions of people's lives, but you can do that. So various doubts will come into that play. So that's been one way that I've experienced the doubts. So I'm just saying, hey, why not make our life about helping humanity and all of humanity? And then we sometimes feel, oh, that's such a big job. Okay, the CEO of Amazon can do that, but I'm not big like him. But actually, helping in small ways that de-addicts people and gives people life solution is actually a much better impact than feeding addictions. So actually, in small ways, we can have much bigger impact. So the sort of doubts that mostly that I have is the ability to, yeah, okay, good. So now today I have to somehow impact the lives of 2 billion people, because that's what we can do. That's what we're doing. That's what Sri Kailasa is. So every day impacting the lives of 2 billion people. So yeah, so that's good. So we're aligning to the vision. So Swamiji is the only one on earth who can have such a big vision. Even other gurus and leaders of different, even religions and whatnot, they will not be able to have this vast vision of how to reach out to not just one sect of humanity or one sect of religion, but every single human. And how can you do that now? And on an hourly basis, what can you work towards, and what structures are needed and how to put them into place? And on a weekly, monthly basis, all of those things for all walks of lives of actually how to live a Jati Varna system. That's one of the beautiful things of the rishis, that they were able to visualize every single being that would come to the planet, what would they need? Even from the space of reincarnation, they programmed our DNA through Gotra. So when you're reincarnated, the ecosystem that you need is there, beyond what anyone could conceive of. So Swamiji's vision for helping humanity is not something that pretty much anyone on the planet can even conceive of. So we have the opportunity to work for it. So for me, dealing with those doubts, just been the completion process. So morning and night, make it a routine. So sit in the morning and just say, okay, do I have any incompletions? What do I want to do today? Jot it down. Okay, do I have any incompletions about that? Any fears, doubts, worries that I can or cannot or don't want to do it? Or what happened yesterday? Okay, now let me come up with a powerful cognition and a plan to overcome that. And same thing in the nighttime. Before I sleep, okay, how was my day? Any incompletions? Anything I missed? Let me complete and plan it for tomorrow. Plan out tomorrow. Okay, any incompletions about that? Helping 2 billion people tomorrow can bring up a lot of incompletions. So plan it out. Plan it down to a weekly, monthly basis. Just write it out. So that's the main thing I would share is spend the time with yourself, morning and evening, a few minutes, whatever it is. If it takes you hours, better to take hours and fix your life in the space of powerfulness today. People will say, I don't have hours. We're running for 85 years and at the end of life, not knowing why. So taking a few hours to know why you're doing what you're doing and make sure you're doing what you're doing is worth many lifetimes. So to spend a couple hours on it is nothing. So that's what I would share. Morning and night, take the time, ask yourself, am I in the space of completion and powerfulness? Anything in my life I'm not comfortable with, I don't like, write it down. Then write out the solution. If you're not sure, chat Mahavakya. And or as has been shared previously, check out some discourses by enlightened gurus or books from the Enlightenment tradition. But that's what I would share mostly, morning and night. Give yourself some time, give yourself some space, not to answer to anyone else, answer to yourself. So Swamiji had said, like, Hinduism is not a faith-based religion. He doesn't expect you to surrender, just be integrated. So just be integrated to yourself, to your understanding of what Swamiji is saying. be integrated to that just for today. And in the evening, you can readjust and realign. That's what I would share. A daily process of self-care, self-love, completion, integrity, powerfulness from the space of enlightened beings. Just for the next 8 hours, how can I be complete? Now, before I sleep, for the next 8 hours, how can I be complete? That's what I would share mostly. Just checking in with myself and completing what I'm incomplete about to bring myself to the space of integrity with myself. And we have the blessing of being guided by someone who has vision that no one else on earth can give. So we cannot lose. If you just check yourself day and night, you can't lose. So I'm just giving new vision every day. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Suniti and Mananda. Next, let's all give our listening to Purushoth. So, Purushoth, please go ahead and share what are some ways which you have been able to raise yourself and bring yourself back to the space of Guru Bhakti whenever we go through the ups and downs and through the incompletions when we have with the Master, with Swamiji. Yes,
Thank
please
you.
go ahead.
Thank you, Nithyananda. Yeah, thank you. Some of the ways which I brought myself back to Guru Bhakti, I tend to lose Guru Bhakti when I get scared, because I have a ton of fears throughout in my life. And some of the ways I fight the fears is through completion, which I got rid of a few fears through that. But I tend to notice that I lose the Guru Bhakti as soon as I get feared, and I know fear is an insult to Guru Bhakti, and another way I try to gain more Guru Bhakti is through daily Nitya Puja, daily Nitya Guru Puja, and I do this on a day-to-day basis. And another way is through yoga, meditation. These are some of the ways which I try to gain through Guru Bhakti. And I have to do more completion so I could stop the fears, because when I get fear, I lose the Guru Bhakti immediately. Thank you, Nithyananda.
Thank you so much, Purushottam, for your sharing.